Yeah, perfect, like that. Good. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, I guess he could have just jumped. It would have had the same effect, but that's cool.
This is SportsCentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and we're just over a week away from the official start of the NHL season. And tonight we have preseason action for you on TSN between the Leafs and Senators. Austin Matthews left practice early today. He's dealing with an upper body injury, but according to Craig Berube, it's not considered serious. So let's head to the Ford Performance Center right now, joined by Mark Masters. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Marissa.
One of the biggest moves the Leafs made this offseason was naming Craig Berube as head coach. What impact have you seen since he's taken over?
Well, it's been a grueling start to this training camp. Veteran winger Ryan Reeves was asked on the first day how tough of an opening day of training camp was that, and he said it's in his top 2, and it's probably not number 2. We saw Max Domi and Simone Benoit get into it at one point. Now, they quickly made amends, but I think that's representative of how intense, how physical this camp has been so far as Coach Craig Berube installs what he calls an aggressive, fast north-south system.
Where the Leafs need some consistency this season is between the pipes. They've signed Joseph Woll to an extension. They brought in Anthony Stolarz. Now, neither of these goalies have played more than 28 games a season. Who do you see getting the majority of the workload?
Well, if he can stay healthy, it will be Joseph Woll. Remember, they just gave him a 3-year contract extension, and twice last season he took over the #1 job before injuries derailed his momentum. He worked on body stability during the summer. He thinks that will help him handle a heavier workload. Anthony Stolarz was brought in the summer. He says he plans to push Woll, and he'll get his first chance to make a statement tonight in Ottawa.
Brilliant, as always, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Marissa.
Viewers in the Leafs and Sens region can watch preseason action tonight. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Atlantic on TSN 4 and 5. In other NHL news, one of the bigger RFAs who's still without a contract put pen to paper last night, as Cole Perfetti and the Jets came to terms on a 2-year bridge deal with an AAV of $3.25 million. Our very own Darren Dreger was first on the news. And in case you're keeping track, that leaves us with just 2 RFAs to sign their contracts and get to camp. And one of them is Bruins starting goalie Jeremy Swayman. Perfetti is just finishing his 3rd NHL season, and it probably wasn't the year he was looking for. The former 10th overall pick was healthy scratched 11 times in the home stretch of the season, and only saw 1 game of playoff action too. But it doesn't seem this contract stalemate has soured things between him and the Jets, seeing as he attended the player media tour on their behalf. So we're looking forward to seeing him at camp. Week 3 in the NFL concluded with 2 games Monday night, and I think it's safe to say that Jayden Daniels has arrived. There were no sign of nerves in the rookie quarterback's prime-time debut against the Bengals. He threw for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns, adding 39 yards on the ground with a rushing TD in a win over Cincinnati. He completed 91.3% of his passes, setting an NFL record for the highest completion percentage by an NFL rookie, with a minimum of 20 passes. Meanwhile, Josh Allen had Bills fans chanting MVP last night, but I mean, they've been doing that for a while. Josh Allen is tied with only Patrick Mahomes as favorite to win MVP through 3 weeks. And Allen was in fine form against the Jaguars, finishing 23 of 30, passing for 263 yards. And for the 8th time in his career, Allen finished with 4 or more passing TDs and no interceptions. And we have to ask ourselves, is it time to panic if you're the Jaguars or the Bengals? No, let me just start by saying, history is not on the side of teams that have started 0-3. Since 1990, only 4 of those teams have made the playoffs, and that is 2.5%. It's not looking pretty good. Tonight in Chicago, we could be witnessing history. Probably not the good kind, especially if you're a fan of the Southsiders, because the White Sox would break the single-season modern-era record with their 121st loss. It's been more than half a century, but the 1962 Mets, who held the record with 120 losses, finally have some company. And to say that it feels inevitable is an understatement. Chicago has gone through losing streaks of 21, 14, and 12 games this season. That 21-game losing streak was the worst skid in 36 years. And to make matters worse, 3 of their remaining games this season are against the Detroit Tigers, who the White Sox are 1-9 against this year. Now, don't be mad, White Sox fans, but there is one more piece of history that they can take. Because as it stands, Chicago also has the worst win percentage in the modern era, with 231. It's a record that has not been broken since 1916. And we're not saying it's a done deal or anything, but with 6 games remaining, that sure is a big hill to climb. At least you got something to put a feather in this year, you know what I mean? Like, it's a feather in the cap of the season. You get to brag about it. I would brag about it. I would brag about this season, actually. You hold records. That's exciting. To Time now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
You know, us here at DSC, we love to see creativity. And as we get closer to spooky season, check out this team being led to the field by a headless horseman.
Sleepy Hollow Horsemen are coached by Steve Van Comey, Trevor Jimmy, Jayden, Ryan Thompson, and the head coach is Juliano. Your Sleepy Hollow!
Okay, you know what? I love that so much, but there are like 5 people in the stands. So people aren't appreciating the creativity that this team is putting in, and I don't like it. That's it for me today. So you're booking around 3 Eastern, now Pacific. Have a good one.